welcome back to Cup of Tea with Amy. We're gonna pick up from where we left off last time. This is part 2. If you haven't watched part 1 yet, please click off this video and go and watch part 1. And for those who have seen part 1, feel free to stick around, as you won't be getting any spoilers today. To recount your memory, we talked about emotional abuse, consent, sexual assault, and domestic abuse in teens. As usual, there is a trigger warning, so if at any point you find anything I talk about upsetting, feel free to skip some parts. I'll link timestamps in the description below. I will be doing some copying and pasting some resources and hotlines from the last video into this description down below. Remember to take lots of breaks from my video if you need to. And like last time, if you are under 15, unless you have parental supervision or you're watching with a guardian or a trusted adult, you need to click off this video right now. But if you are over 15, please feel free to stick around. But before we continue on, I would like to show you the clip that I have put in my other video where I advertise a local small business called Blue Skies by Chloe. Sometimes you feel really depressed. Sometimes you feel like the whole world is against you. Sometimes you feel angry with yourself and with those around you. Sometimes you just need to step back. It is especially disgusting how people use false accusations of abuse as a means of control to gain full custody of the children and to get a substantial amount of money. Like, buy a lottery ticket for fuck's sake. Why do you have to ruin someone's life in order to get some money? Most straight men and most straight women struggle to trust each other because they have been abused that many times. Gay men would struggle to trust each other. Lesbians would struggle to trust each other. And bisexuals definitely would not know where to turn. There's been an uprising in this day and age of situationships and friends with benefits because nobody wants a serious relationship anymore. Nobody wants to risk getting heartbroken again. Nobody wants to risk getting abandoned and neglected. Nobody wants to give their all only to be screwed over and have to start again. Nobody wants to be traumatized again. Nobody wants to be abused again. The effects of mental health can be quite damaging. It isn't just depression and anxiety that follow. As I said, you don't know who to trust after that. You may have extreme responses to something as insignificant as misplacing the TV remote, or you walk into a room and everyone's laughing and you walk out because you think it's about you, when actually they were laughing at something else. You just happened to walk into the room as they burst into laughter. So quite unsettling timing there. Sleep, energy levels, and an appetite for food might be hard to come by. So it starts to affect your physical health too. So you may feel fatigued and you just want to sit around all the time, and then you gain weight, or you might lose a lot of weight. Or it could be the other extreme. You could sleep the way the cat does, or you could binge eat, or you'd have lots and lots of energy that you don't know what to do with, and you just do this until you are eventually burnt out. You may either be more forgetful than other people, or you may have been a forgetful person to start with, but now you're even more forgetful than you were before. You may take a little longer than other people to recall short-term information, or you may instantly forget something that somebody said 15 minutes ago, or something that happened yesterday. Here, I'll give you an example. Let me try to remember what happened yesterday, apart from filming part 1. What happened yesterday? Was home all day. Got some studies done. Yeah, yeah. Yes, I remember. Mom went to go stay with my auntie last night. See what I'm saying? Complex trauma, or even just trauma, can affect your memory. You may find yourself dissociating in conversation. Hey, do you remember that thing that happened the other day? Oh yeah, I do. And then you're just there like, and then you start thinking about what you're gonna do tomorrow, or those feelings you still care, anything. And then around 10 minutes gone by, and let's say someone within the conversation is like, so what did you think of that thing that happened in World War II? And you're just there like, what? Yeah, talking to you. I thought we were talking about that thing that happened yesterday. No, that conversation had changed a while ago. Are you feeling alright? Yeah. You tend to dissociate because I guess it's your body and brain's way of trying to protect you from what you're really feeling. Any event that took place within the 6 months might feel like a lifetime ago. Like something that happened 3 months ago may feel like a lifetime ago. Something that happened 2 weeks ago might feel like something that happened 3 months ago. Something that happened yesterday might feel like something that happened this could go on forever, you know? Like, time doesn't feel real. Your life, any event that takes place in your life, it doesn't feel like it actually happened. Like, you know it did, but it also feels like time just slid you by. Or, you don't actually exist. Your life's practically a fever dream. Am I making sense here? I hope I am. Now, before you guys come at me, counseling and therapy can do wonders for people. It can help get some stuff off your chest. And someone could just be there to be a listening ear. They can help you understand yourself better. They can give you the tools to help cope with the pain that you're going through. But here's the thing. For most people, or at least some people, mental health care is too expensive, and it's not always accessible. I've usually been fortunate enough to be able to have free counseling, but a lot of people don't have that. There have also been times when I've had to cancel opportunities to go in for sessions because they costed hundreds of dollars, and even with financial aid, it was still too expensive. And for a lot of people living in rural and remote areas, mental health care is just out of the question because there wouldn't be much there at all. Don't get me wrong, counseling is very highly recommended in order to start your healing journey. But talk therapy isn't for everybody, and mental health care isn't accessible to everybody. And so counseling shouldn't have to be the only option that you have to start moving forward. There are other ways that you can learn to heal. If you can't access mental health care, or if talking to a total stranger about all your problems isn't for you, I'm going to offer some other ways that you can learn how to cope and manage your symptoms. I am no expert in anything. I'm not qualified or certified in anything. This is just the stuff that works for me. And if it works for you, that's great. Otherwise, just take what I say with a grain of salt. Okay, so what you can do is reach out to loved ones. Write out your feelings on a piece of paper, or lots, then burn it. Prepare a meal with a lot of ingredients and make sure there's enough left over for the week. You could even freeze some meals, so meal prepping. If you're concerned about your brain turning into mush, so to speak, do some word search puzzles, crosswords, and talk to dots. Read a book, learn a new skill. And if you cannot go through another day without that feeling of hopelessness, I recommend making plans for yourself and loved ones. Do that thing you've always wanted to do. Go to that place you've always wanted to go. Have something to look forward to. Try to resist some time you spend scrolling, and just any screen time, really. Unfollow people who make you feel bad about yourself. Unfollow different pages that make you feel bad about yourself. Change your algorithm into a slightly happier place for you. If you have so much to get done, but you're so overwhelmed you don't know where to begin, write out a list and start off with whatever's the most manageable to you, and then for every task you finish, cross it out and then move on to the next thing. If that's still too much, ask a loved one to help you. If you carry a lot of anger, do some exercises. It doesn't have to be jogging or Pilates or whatever. You can just go for a brisk walk somewhere. Or you could go hiking. You may be overwhelmed by this idea, but as I say, take it with a grain of salt. The angriest people have the cleanest houses. This is how to help people you care about going through some trauma. Reach out for support. If they opened up to you, listen. Do not offer any advice or suggestions unless they want you to. All they want is to vent and have their feelings validated. Make plans with them and so that they have something to look forward to and a temporary distraction from their problems. If their to-do list is overwhelming, help with them with the tasks they need to get done and help check things off their to-do list. Do not push your loved one to share more than what they're comfortable with. If they want space, give them space. If you're starting a new relationship, situationship, friends with benefits, whatever, take baby steps. Because the idea of a healthy relationship with a healthy partner can be uncomfortable and overwhelming for a lot of survivors of sexual assault and domestic violence. So take things very slow, baby steps. It's only uncomfortable and overwhelming because we're not used to it. We're used to toxic relationships. It's not relevant to the video, but to clarify from the first episode about not having to forgive fathers, well, I've forgiven mine, but only because of the life I have today, not so much him, really. Anyhow, I was only saying you don't have to forgive because there's people with fathers much worse than mine. I'm not going to suggest forgiving abusers when I can barely forgive mine, and it's not my place to tell other survivors of abuse that they need to forgive. There is no character building that comes from being abused by a friend or a partner. Not everything has to be a life lesson. Sometimes bad things just happen. Sometimes things are so bad you are not the same person again. One thing I can tell you though is that you can learn to live with it, and you can learn how to cope and to manage the symptoms of your trauma, complex trauma or PTSD. There is no reason for this kind of abuse to happen ever. Technically, this isn't a Bible verse, but this too shall pass. You can learn to put yourself back together even if you're not the same person anymore. So like mosaics. They were broken pieces that were made into something beautiful. Look at yourself as a mosaic. Like, yeah, you were once a beautiful person that's now got all these broken pieces, but you can be beautiful again, maybe even more than before, if you put them all together into a whole other object. I'd like to think that by starting my YouTube channel and by talking about abusive relationships with you guys, that I am turning some of life's sourest lemons and turning them into the sweetest lemonade. In conclusion, abuse in a relationship can have long-term effects on you, but it doesn't have to define who you are. It doesn't have to stop you from living your best life. As I say, if at any point you were triggered by the video, I will have resources and hotlines in the description below. Before I go, I would like to offer some aftercare. You are loved, you are kind, you are needed, you are wanted, you are exceptional, you make a difference. The world is a better place because you're in it. And I would like to do what I did last time and post pictures from my childhood and pets and any recent pictures from the last 4 or 5 years. Thank you so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye!